Good morning, traders. Happy Friday and God bless. Looking at the SPY this morning, not looking so good. Neither were the other exchanges. Seems to me everything is down already. Should make for an interesting Friday. Well, at least we all know what to expect. Friday has been pretty much down days for us. We very rarely have a good one, but we may get a few stock picks to play out of it. We have about 3 minutes to go. If you're new here, we'll be watching this volume spike column for anything that moves. If it starts spiking, you'll see a green number pop up. If they're strong, they'll climb to the top. I'm going to sort by Momo this morning. Of course, there ain't hardly anything in this list. Hopefully we'll get something on the board here soon. And if you're new here, I'll do a walkthrough about 6:30. I'll introduce myself, let you know what's going on, what we do, and how we can help you. And good morning to everybody saying good morning. About a minute and a half to go before the bell. Make sure EXT is checked on your chart so you don't miss a trade. About 30 seconds to go, not seeing anything on the board. All right, 10 seconds to go. Good luck to everyone. I'll be marking out support and resistance as it happens. And let's go. AERT making a small bounce here. Really needs to break this high right here. Seeing the sellers above the buyers down here on the volume lines. That was kind of short-lived. Never know, though. The buyers could come back in. You got to keep an eye on these two lines right here. These are the sellers. These are the buyers. And let me clarify, these are not orders. They're not sell orders or buy orders. I broke down the volume as far as the price moving up and the volume rising. I refer to them as buyers. Or the volume's moving up and the price is falling, I refer to them as sellers. And that's what this is. It's only volume numbers, negative and positive. Well, it's acting like a Friday. Let's see if we can get something moving. Enjoy your coffee while we wait on a volume spike to occur. We don't go searching for stocks, they come to us. So anything that moves in pre-market's going to pop up in one of these 2 scans or 3 scans or 11 scans that I'm running. AUVI is not on my scans. See if we can get a pullback play out of it. What's it going to do? Let's see if we get a pullback here. Need this red candle to close down here about where my mouse is. So if you see a long tail coming underneath this red candle, that means the buyers are buying up what they're selling and it's going to continue to rise. Going to set that level there. That would be support and resistance if it bounces up from 311 to 324 or continues to pull back. Since we're continuing to pull back, I'll remove that lower line, set a new one on this candle. Not looking real strong. Yeah, I don't know where this one's going. I'll go ahead and put the line back in there. Let's see if it bounces or not. And it did. Don't know if it will break 324. It's showing a lot of weakness. Just as many sellers as there is buyers. Don't think I'll trust this one. I'm going to let this one pass. And then it'll pop up about $6. Not responding immediately like I like them. Yeah, but sometimes having news is not a good thing. You can have great news, but not as great as everybody was expecting. You can have bad news and everybody buys it. For what reason, I don't know. Never been a news person, only a numbers person. We are holding 311. I guess that's one good sign. Dominators telling the truth is sellers are above the buyers as far as volume. Pretty much equal now. We need them to really, the buyers really to outnumber the sellers and drive this stock up. And that's not happening. When you're 5 minutes into it on on a bounce like this, I'm pretty much assured that the buyers are going to lose interest in this stock. They expected it to go up already, and it didn't. Buyers are dropping off now. You see the separation in the dominator lines. Been having some really weird stuff happen with Schwab. Yesterday, when the market closed, my pre-market scan would not work. I haven't changed any settings or anything, but it would not pick up any stocks. And then this morning, it's working fine. I guess Schwab forgot a server somewhere. Forgot to activate after hours, whatever the case may be. Looks like we're trying to break 324. Don't know if I'll trust it at this point. It's tried already. It's going to have to prove itself to me now. It needs to break through 324, come back down and retest it as a support level before I would be interested. I didn't see any reason to get into this stock. Watching the dominator lines, the red's been above the green the whole time. Never really broke through anywhere. We never did see a surge of buyers come in. Stayed on bullish most of the time up here, or bearish, I mean. But there was a possibility it could have broke through right here, but it didn't. If you've never been here before, we don't chase green candles like this unless you think you are a professional green candle chaser, then have at it. But through my 30-something years of investing, every time I chased them, I won about 50% of the time and lost it all the other 50% of the time. It's not really worth chasing them all. I learned a long time ago to start playing these pullbacks. And if they're really strong, they're going to bounce up and break the resistance level above it. To me, that's the safest play. And it also seems to be working for many members who can continually follow the strategy and not fade away from it. Sometimes even I fade away from it. It's just a trader thing. And every time I don't follow it, I lose. I'll explain all of that at 6:30. I'll do an introduction, let you know who I am, what's on the board, what's on the charts, how they work, how we enter a play. Well, I guess since it's dead, I'll go ahead and do the introduction now. I am Ricky Gaspard. I'm a guy who trades from his home office. I've been trading since 1990. I'm also a ThinkScript coder, and I've been doing that for about 15 years. And I write my own indicators because I got tired of the other ones that try to predict the future from what it did in the past. That's just not my way of trading. I always traded by the numbers. I like to watch for volume spikes and big green candles and pullbacks. So I wrote this script here. This measures volume. Is it positive or negative? If it's positive, it's going to turn green and let you know that the volume is increasing and the price is rising when it's green, and the opposite when it's red. Once I got this indicator developed, I was able to monitor and program this one. This one's looking back 30 minutes for anything that's moving. If it's moving just a little bit, you're going to see a low number. If it's moving a lot, you're going to see a higher number. They will actually crawl up the list the stronger they get. Once we see a volume spike here, we come over to this current volume bar and see if we have enough volume flow to get in and get out safely. This number needs to really be moving steady, not just a couple of shares here and there. Once we confirm the volume, you'll see the 5 EMA and the 13 EMA on the chart. We confirm that we have volume and a crossover of these two moving averages. You will then see these white arrows pop in. These are bullish signals that the buyers are coming in strong. As this is happening, you'll see a bullish or bearish label up here. That's also monitoring that first candle. If it's bullish, you'll see a green label kick in. If it's bearish, you'll see a red one. I don't use volume bars. I use a volume label. It lets me break down the volume into numbers that I like to monitor. And you'll see right now, over the entire volume of this stock, there's more sellers in it than there are buyers. So we're basing it on this one candle plus the overall volume. And then down here, I broke down, this is Dominator Master. This is the volume of that current candle. The taller it is, the more volume it has. The greener it is, the more it's going to rise. Sometimes you'll see half red, half green. That means the buyers and sellers are pretty much equal. And I've also had the volume broke down in here as far as the line indicator, where you can see the sellers are above the buyers, or vice versa. We like to see the green line above the red line. That way we know the stock is strong. And if we can get some separation between these two lines, like the red one being way down here and the green one up here, that's a very strong indication that stock's going to run up pretty far. Never trade off of my screen. If you do, you could get stung. My delay can be sometimes out of this world. So if you want to get set up, watch all my videos on YouTube. You'll see the birth of all of these indicators as they were being born. There's also a lot of recorded live streams on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, let YouTube know that I'm doing a good job here. It also lets me know if I'm doing a good job by reading your comments. If you're interested in joining us, you can join our Discord server. There's a link beneath each video on YouTube to join the Discord. This morning I'll put it in the chat. That's where you'll find all of these indicators, scripts, and labels. If you don't know anything about Discord, hit the Start Here button in Discord and read what I've got there. It'll help guide you through Discord. If you don't know how to install these scripts, labels, and indicators, we have how-to videos, especially video number 8. We'll walk you through installing these indicators on the chart and these indicators in the watch list. Also visit our trading floor where we have Gregster and River Place Dad doing their due diligence on stocks. And they post them when they find a good one. They're a good team to follow, and I suggest you sit with them for a few hours and see what kind of stocks they post. Maybe you'll make a few dollars. Over on Options Traders, you'll find Bobby there. He's really good at options, and he gives pointers throughout the day. He also holds a live stream like I do, but he also holds a full-time job, so that live stream only happens when he's available, and he'll take you a little bit deeper into options. We have over 3,600 subscribers over on Discord. Most of them are trading, some of them are not, some are learning. And if you're learning and you have questions, head over to our support department. But first, make sure you review the how-to videos before you go to support. Try to help yourself before you ask for help. That always gives us a little bit of break and kind of keeps all the questions down in support. We appreciate you joining us this morning as we wait on the next volume spike to occur. Okay, I'm done for today. I'll see y'all later. I just said everything I had to say right there. Just kidding. I'll hang around just like you, drink my coffee, say a few prayers, hoping something will go up. Praise the Lord. So if you're new here, every time I take a break or say a stock's not going to go up, hit the buy button. That's a key. No, I'm just kidding. Don't follow that advice, but it happens more than I want it to happen. I mean, I think if I just turn my head and look at the opposite wall, everything goes up. The moment I turn it back, it's all going down. But we'll get through it. It's Friday. Friday can be boring sometimes, and sometimes it can be pretty exciting. Me, I'm sitting here waiting for the exciting part. Hopefully it happens. Robert, you didn't miss anything. You probably can repeat every word I've said. You've been here so long. Thank you, Hawkeye. Well, I'll let you, Robert. Start recording it, play it over and over and over. You get good enough, I'll let you take my place. Hennessy, it's recorded. You can play it later. I'm really shocked that something didn't take off while I was doing the introduction. That's why I kind of wait till 6:30. Since I beat it, I guess I outsmarted it this morning by doing it at 6:20. Thank you for that comment, trading pennies. Many people don't believe in that, but I do. If you talk negative about yourself, you're going to be negative. If you talk positive, you'll be positive. It's kind of like beginning trading and you say, man, I suck at trading. Well, as long as you have that attitude, you're going to suck at trading. You got to think yourself as a professional trader, even though you're not, and head towards that goal. It all comes in your belief, and your belief is stronger than you think it is. Thank you, Dana, for your contribution. Greatly appreciated. God bless you, brother. And I can assure you, if the negativity hits you, I bet you don't go running around the house, man, dinner's going to suck, especially if your wife is standing there. That's the attitude you got. You're going to deserve what you're asking for. Daniel, you got to have more buyers and sellers. It can have great volume. It can have 1 million sellers and 1 million buyers, but if it's equal, it's not going to move. I try to avoid those kind of stocks where there's a lot of buyers and sellers on each side. There's many stocks out there like that. It looks like, wow, I got to get in here. There's a lot of volume, but then it never goes anywhere. It's just a battle going on between the buyers and the sellers. That's correct, Greg. You'll find them all over in Current Setup on Discord. The Current Setup channel is pretty much everything I'm using here. We do have other setups. We have the swing combo setup. It's also pretty powerful. And I need to do some updating in Current Setup. I need to add this indicator to it right here, this Dominator Master. But this is what you'll get in Current Setup, and it's just as good. Greg, a lot of my indicators do work for options. We have a lot of options players in our Discord. You can get with one of them. They'll tell you how they're using them. But yes, they do work for options. We even have some futures traders using them. I don't know which ones they're using, but they seem to be using a few of the indicators over there as well. Most of them hit at the top of the hour, but we have seen some hit at weird minutes, like 7:23 a couple mornings ago. I guess it all depends on when they want to release them, but the majority are at the top of the hour. I have seen some being released at the half hour as well. And then a couple days ago, it's some weird drop at 7:20 something. Me, I'm not a news reader. I'm a numbers reader. I don't care what the news says. I'll let everybody else go read it. If that news is good, it'll be reflected right here in this volume spike. You'll see these percentages jump up. That stock will come right up to the top. So I don't need to go decipher the news. I just wait to see if it was good or bad watching these numbers. You can see Mara does not look good. You can see the seller volume way up here and the buyer volume way down here. You can see the red bars. It represents the same thing. It's letting you know there's more sellers than buyers. David, that is so true. Thank you for that comment. Grade the reaction. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. God bless you too, brother. You have a blessed weekend as well. Tennessee, I barely remember dinner. How am I going to remember that? Stone cold. We have a cold front coming through. I think it's supposed to be like 29 by Monday morning. So I didn't plan anything for this weekend. And since my illness is, I'm on special diet, so I won't be cooking anything that tastes good. Because they said everything that tastes good is bad for me. I don't know if I'm going to believe them very much longer, though. I miss my good food. David, that's why I live down in the South. I think we'll get warm again before we really set in for winter. In reality, our winter lasts about 2 months, I'm going to say, and then it's all bearable again. San Antonio's a good place. I've been there so many times. It's just another place now. But I like the Riverwalk and some of the food. Most of it is commercialized food, tourist food. I prefer to go outside the city, get the real stuff. I also avoid the big cities. I don't like Houston at all. I'm out on the suburbs of Houston, 30 miles away from it. I wished it was 40. Dallas is okay for a visit. Wouldn't want to live there. Are you saying to look at you, Roy, or are you just going to comment on it? Doesn't have any volume, Hennessy. That be Sugarland, Texas, Rick R. Hennessy, they all move. That don't mean they're going up, though. Sugarland has really grown over the years. They've cleaned that place up a lot. It looks really nice. They even have attractions for the public to attend at nighttime. I live in Kemah, Texas. I love this little city. I'm like planted right in the middle of everything. I could probably walk to attend anything I want to attend. That's how close I am to everything here. The boardwalk's like quarter mile. It's on the water. That's also where all the sailboats are and the motorboats and the yachts and it's a city of 3,500 and there's no more land for sale. So it's not going to get overpopulated. Martina, on level 2, the orders are pending. And on time and sales, that's the orders that are going through. So there is a difference between the two. You have to really monitor the numbers closely. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Stonks, I was born in Galveston, so I've been in the area my whole life. 67 years is how old I am. I've lived in other places as a general contractor. I've worked all the hurricanes down the coast, all the way to Florida. Lived in Florida for 5 years and came back home. Nothing like home. I have some good stories to tell. I mean, I've seen it. I saw cannons still bolted on the Galveston seawall. Seen the underground jail cells before they tore them out. I've seen many things, wooden roller coasters, wooden Ferris wheels. Remember when the island was cracking in half? The R-vol numbers show how many times greater or less the volume is versus previous volume. So in this case, it would be 6.9 times greater than previously, or 0.17 times greater than previously. And to be honest with you, I don't even use it. I constantly monitor these two columns. Got MDAI spiking up here at 305. Let's not miss it. It might be the only one of the day. Looks like the volume paused. That's not a good sign. Must have jumped up and said, oh, wait, this is Friday. I'm not chasing it. I promise I'm not chasing it. I'm not chasing it. I'm going to wait on the pullback. I don't trust it. It's Friday. I want to save my money or not make any if I don't play any stocks. Don't want to close the door on Friday in the red. See, if I'd have chased it, I'd be down 8 cents a share right now. Let's see what happens, see if we get a pullback. Long tail on the bottom of that red candle means that the buyers are buying up what they're selling. And they just lost. Volume is too low for me. That's not a good pullback play, so be careful if you entered there. Hopefully you'll make some money. I did not mark support. Nice gains, and it's going up because I didn't buy it. Keep that thought in mind. Nice rise. Hopefully some of you got in it, and if you did, you're out by now, right? If you're brave, you'll hang on. Hope you guys caught that. I didn't play it. Good job, Buster. Might be getting a second pullback here. Let's see if it pulls back at least half of this green candle. Maybe the play's in the second pullback, not the first. Let's see if 317 is a support level to bounce back up to 328, or is it going to drop down to 308? That's what it looks like it's doing. Watching the dominator lines over there, it looks like the buyers are pretty strong. It's going to bounce, it looks like. That looked like a fake out right there. Good job, Gregory. I think trading this way relieves a lot of stress. You kind of know what you're looking for. Once you know what's going to happen and when to enter and when to exit, it's kind of like the stress eases up a lot. I mean, you can look right up here, and if you wait on pullbacks, and when it gets down here to the bottom, you can tell yourself, well, there's where I used to get in. Now I don't have to make up my loss because they already sold it off. Now I might think about entering. Back in the day, we would click the button up here, and then it was down here, we'd get out, and then it would go right back up. That's how I learned to play the pullback. Well, if I'm buying the green ones that ain't working, I'll buy the red ones. Not much happening right now. We're waiting on another volume spike to occur. This one wasn't real strong. I didn't have any faith in it. And I can see why. It's done lost it all. Hennessy, you got that right. That's why I love pre-market now. I'll just get my piece and close the door when the bell rings. Lisa, the best way to learn this is to come to these live streams every morning and watch us do it over and over and over. Not every stock is the same. They all don't react the same. Most of them do work well. Sometimes it's like 80% good. Sometimes it drops a little less than that. I've never been able to put an accurate percentage on it. But the pullback strategy seems to be the most profitable for all of us. So the best way to learn is come here every morning, watch me do it over and over and over. You'll get sick of watching me do it, and that's the whole point. Once you see it done enough, you just naturally pick up on it. Jamie, yes, they do. I actually monitor when I'm doing a trade, I'm watching the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, and the 30 minute chart. I always monitor multiple time frames to make my decision. A 1 minute chart can fake you out pretty fast if you're not watching the 5 minute as well. And I'll tell you what's really good about multiple charts with different time frames is you can watch this label on each one of them. And when they're all green on all time frames, that's usually a good sign to pull the trigger. I think what makes these indicators good is that they're live. They're not making a decision based on what the stock did in the past. It's now. It's what's happening currently. That's why we can watch these percentages pop up and know immediately something's moving, not relying on what happened back here. So this one's live, this one is live, these labels are live. This one's live and this one's live. And none of them are focusing on what happened in the past. So on these two lines, we're only monitoring the very end. We don't care what happened back here. I mean, it's a history of what happened. You can see the sellers pretty much dominated this stock all the way to this point where you just got a little bounce up. But we actually monitor just the end here. We want to see that green line separate from that red one. And if you're lucky, the red one stays down low and the buyers keep coming in and the stock keeps going up. Helps you really monitor candle action, price action, so to speak, and volume. Once you conquer that, you're going to be really successful. That's right, David. Don't try to predict bottoms or tops. Get your piece in the middle and get out. This city group here moving, yeah, it looks like it, $54. It's on a run up. You can see that separation I'm talking about right here. You can see these green bars represents the same thing as this down here. This is the same data, just displayed two different ways. This one will probably keep climbing until this red line turns up and the sellers start coming in. What I'm talking about, we're only monitoring the ends of these lines. You can see the sellers taking profit. Now they lay flat and then they poke back up. See the sellers coming in right here, and the line turns up. Now it's about 50-50. And when you see the line lay flat right here, that means the buyers have quit buying. That's reflected right here in the volume. You can see the volume died. Now the buyers are coming back in. The sellers are coming in too. So we may pull back. There's the pullback. Now the sellers are slacking off, and the buyers are stepping up. If we had a lot of volume on this stock, this would be really easy play, but since we don't have a lot of volume, it would be pretty much a guess right now. I like to see a lot higher volume flow than that. So when you get into one that's really got a lot of buyers and sellers, you'll be able to make a better judgment call just by watching these two indicators. Long as it's steady and increasing, that's what I like to see. I don't like to see pauses in the volume. I mean, we've had good plays with less than 100,000 shares being traded per candle, but we've had some bad ones as well. I'm not liking the volume indicators down here for this stock. You will know instantly when you have enough volume. This price will be kicking it. It'll be moving up and down and doing all kind of dances, and you'll be monitoring the indicators. The best ones is when you have separation between these two lines. You know they're nice and strong, especially if we have a lot of flow in the volume. This is what I call trying to get a second wind or a second breath. It's already tried up here. They sold it off. They gave up on it. Now some people think it may go again. If you look down here, it's pretty weak. So down here at the bottom of this indicator is low volume. Up here is higher volume. Always remember that. Low volume down here, high volume up here. Jamie, I don't believe there is. See you later, David Barron. You have a blessed weekend, brother. See you later, Joseph. You have a blessed one, too. Bob, it is a dead one. I'm kind of like sitting on my hands. And you've heard me say this before. I don't trade on Fridays. This is why. Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez. Well, it looks like AUVI lost its second wind. James, I'm sorry I did that to you, bro. It happens to all of us. And when you get 5 monitors, you wish you would have bought 10. At least somebody's watching the board. Heather, thank you. Possible pullback. Let's see what happens. The volume's kind of weak on it, so be careful on this one. I'm really not liking it for some reason. I guess because these two lines are too close together. Let's see if we get a bounce up from 318 to 324. There's not enough money there for me to pull the trigger. 6 cents. Both the dominator lines are turning downwards. Almost like a false alarm. Stonks I do on my other monitors, but when it comes to scans, I wish there was a way to put a scan in one of those kind of charts, but you can't do it. So all of my scans are detached windows, and I've got to sort them because Windows can't seem to get it together. I've got to put them in their proper place. 3 or 4 of them miss their spot every morning when I boot up. I think there should be a feature where you can detach them and they join each other. You can touch them together and they connect. That would be great. Where you can create one window out of all of them. Sounds like you guys need to agree to disagree. Everybody's strategy is different. Everybody believes they have the best one. This stock did bounce up eventually. Took about 4 minutes to get in there to get enough buyers to move it. Sellers are chasing it. I'm going to go grab me some water real quick. All right, I'm back. See, stocks go up every time I leave. Telling you, you got to pull the trigger when I say I'm going somewhere. Might get a retest at 324, and we did. Let's see if we can pull up from here. This would be like the third pullback. I don't think I like this stock at all. It's just kind of been up and down, doing crazy stuff. I want to hang on to it for a little bit more than 6 or 7 cents. Big Mike, does it work on multiple monitors? Like I can attach all of the windows into one picture frame or what? How does that work? Big Mike, if you don't mind, can you send me a direct message to a link to what you're talking about? Or is it just information? I don't care what it is if it'll help me out. AERT, kind of bouncing up and down, kind of stocks I hate. SOXL, let's see what we got. SOXL on a nice rise. Had a small pullback here. Seeing the sellers chasing the buyers. It may be a tough ride. Not a lot of money there. 28.47 to 28.63. Not worth it, really. I think Mara will be a better play at market open. We'll get a better decision on it, see which direction it's going to head. I love that stock, though. I've made a lot of money off of that stock through the years. Joshua, that's a good question. It's either somebody got ripped off, they had a pending order up there, and they spiked up and grabbed it and put them in the hole. I really don't know what them are. I think they just may be glitches because they last less than a second. Hopefully, what I said is not true. They didn't reach up there and snatch somebody's money. MDAI moving. Let me get on it real quick. If I can find my mouse. Slow crawl up to 328. So all the time frames are lined up on MDAI. But the volume is so low, don't think I would trust it. 30-minute chart's green, 15-minute chart's green, 5-minute chart is green. 1-minute chart, it's kind of flashing back and forth, and that resistance. So 328 appears to be the brick wall for MDAI. Failure once again. If you're new here, this is Friday. Fridays are always slow. Got to have patience. Wait for the play to set up. Since we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour, I'm going to say we're probably not going to get another play unless they pump something up just prior to the bell. And if they do, it'll be right up here on this volume spike. So that's what we'll be waiting on, is something being pumped up before the bell. Probably not likely on Friday, but we'll see. Jamie, once you add these indicators, they're there until you take them off. You have to save the workspace once you do it. You can save it as a study or save it as a setup, a workspace. $339 watching, 188 likes. Pay it forward for me. Click the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Let's keep the ratings up so I can keep this going. If you're new here and you're unaware, all of this stuff is free. We rely on donations only. If you learn something from here and you feel like paying it forward, you can hit the $ down there by the chat button with the square around it, then hit super chat and name your donation price. Or if you prefer a monthly, you can go over to our Discord, click on the Patreon channel, and name your price between $5 and $30 a month. All donations keep the channel going. Helps me recover my expenses as well. So paying it forward helps us. Tennessee, I'm a 2-click person, in and out. That's all I care about. Thank you, Armand, for that donation. Really appreciate you. God bless. Yeah, I never take my eyes off the screen if I'm in a trade. I don't plan on being in it very long. Hopefully less than 2 minutes. I think most day traders do it the same way I do it. They're in and they're out. I like large share size purchases, so I don't hang in there very long. I think what works for me is to buy enough. If it only goes up a nickel, I still make a couple of $100. If it goes up more than that, I make a lot more. And I don't trade all day long. Sometimes I only make 2 trades. I have made 4 or 5, don't get me wrong, but most of the time, 2 trades, 3 trades max all day long. I wait for the perfect setup. If I don't get it, I don't trade. That's what keeps my losses down. Geraldo, a nice clean pullback with lots of volume. That's all I play is pullbacks. A lot of these companies, I don't even know which ones I bought. I'm so focused on numbers, I don't even know the symbols sometimes. I have to go look and say, what was that? I'm strictly a numbers guy. Volume and price action, that's all I trade. These indicators are just confirmation. They help me make a decision, but they're not the reason I get in and out. The reason is I have to have enough volume and I have to have a pullback. Thank you, Jamie Lee Chaffin, for your donation. Greatly appreciate you. God bless. My belief is if you do the same play over and over, you get good at it. I'm good at pullbacks. Bro, Joe, that all depends on how the stock is moving. If it's strong, I'll just hit the whole 5,000 shares. If I'm having doubts, I may go in 1,000 at a time. That is part of my play, is to don't hit it hard if you're not sure. David, I agree all day long. You don't get it, don't play it. Man, no, it doesn't happen if the volume's high enough. But yes, I have had it happen to me. Everybody has. I've had many of you, many of the members, meaning you, that have been trading for years that never played a pullbacks. And once they started, they fell in love with it. I've turned quite a few traders' lives around through my years. And it's not that I had the perfect plan, it's that I had something that was working. I still don't call it the perfect plan, but it's working. See you later, Roth. Have a blessed weekend. David, you just nailed it, brother. You click that mouse button and it's not going up, you might have missed it. Thank you, Rick R., for your donation. Really appreciate you. God bless. I think a lot of mistakes people make, especially beginning traders, is even if I turn them on to this pullback strategy, if it doesn't work for them once or twice, you'll see they go right back to what they used to do. They'll be going back to Bollinger Bands or whatever system they had, and they fail over there again. The whole point is to stick with the pullback and learn it. And I guarantee you'll stick with it forever once you get it. Once you get it under your belt and you know what it's doing, I don't think you'll ever change. Thank you, Greg Fuller. Greatly appreciate you, brother, and God bless. If you're new here and you haven't joined us or subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate your support. Here's the link to my YouTube channel. Watch the videos. You'll learn a lot from each one. Even though they're older, you still need to watch them. They all contain some bit of information that's important. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon. You'll know when I go live instantly or when I put out a new indicator. I'm currently on break from coding. I am doing some fine tuning while I'm on break. I guess I'm not 100% on break, but fine tuning is always done. I never give up, never quit until I get them perfect. That's our Discord channel. Join 3,500, 3,600 by now. Other subscribers, that's where all the indicators are. We'd love to have you join us. Come here each morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Time to 9:30. And watch us work these indicators over and over again. I'm not going to tell you buy or sell. I'm going to let the indicators do that for you. I don't need to tell you when to buy or sell. It'll be obvious. BB, I do not. This is the best training you're going to get right here watching us do it live. I don't believe in the video thing, the recorded video thing. I can't prove anything to you that way. And you don't know if I've cut out the worst parts and only left you the bad ones. But if you see me do it live, you know it's real. See you later, James L. God bless you. You have a good weekend. All right, nothing's happening. I'm going to take a break here for 10 minutes. I'll be back. Everybody get ready to buy. You know what happens when I leave. I'll see you soon. All right, I am back. Happy to see nothing went up. So I didn't miss nothing. I know one thing, I don't have any stocks added to my personal watch list this morning. I have my normal in there, Mara, CCC. That's only because CCC's been moving. Not doing anything this morning. Mara's kind of holding its footprint here at the 2176 level. Mara's probably going to be the play at open, I'm going to suspect, since the big pullback yesterday on it. Yeah, AUVI's been trying to break 311. It doesn't seem to want to get through there. Sometimes it does, and then it gets stuck at 324. So it's been kind of squeezing at the 290 level. Praise Fire, and it's a pleasure having you here with us. We learn every day. The learning never stops. Big tall wick on the top of that candle for AUVI. It tells me negativity at market open. Just be careful. It is Friday. Things may not go as planned. People are working their way back to cash before the weekend's over. They may sell what they've been holding, buy a few during the day, and clear them out before market close. JW, it's going to be different from each person. I say, since I'm a large share trader, my opinion is going to be different than anybody else. I'm getting out when I'm in profit. I'm not waiting on a red candle. Hopefully it turns green the minute I click that mouse button, or is green and keeps staying green. But everybody's strategy or positioning is different. So the answer to your question is going to vary pretty much per every different type of strategy and investor. I just get a piece in the middle as it's running up, and I'm happy with that. And I've left a lot of profit on the table, but I've also put profit in the bank. It's kind of like once you cross that bridge, don't look back. You've already been in and out. Go on to the next one, or wait for another pullback on the same stock. On Fridays, I like to look for that one stock that's defying the odds. That's the one I'll play. If everything's crashing and this one stock is still going up, there's some power there. I think a lot of mistakes people make is they think that if a stock's been falling for a while and in a downtrend and they see a little burst up, they consider it an uptrend when it's only probably a lower high, and then they get stuck. You have to wait till the whole price average turns around and it's in a strong run up, not just a 3 or 4 minute turnaround. That's not going to help you much. You got to play the trends as well. Make sure it's an established trend, not just a spike up and you try to turn it around and think it's an uptrend, then you lose. Zoom out. That's my big thing is zoom way out on a stock and look at it. Don't just judge it by the 15 minutes that's on your chart or the 30 minutes. Back it out a couple of days. And keep in mind, if you're new here and you're reading everybody's comments, don't forget everybody has their own strategy. So their comment, just like my comment, might not be relevant to the strategy you're using. But we're telling you what's working for the strategy we are using. And I hope that makes sense to you. So not everybody's comment's going to work for you. Some of them will if you're playing the same strategy. Some of them won't. I think a good thing for everybody to do while I got time to talk about it is I like to go to the 15-minute chart. And I like to zoom way out on something. I can't zoom out on this one. Let me put Mara up here. That would be a good one probably. So if I zoom way out on Mara, probably can even go to the daily. And if you go back and you start marking your support and your resistance levels as you work your way up to other time frames, you will see these levels. Don't try to mark all of them because you're going to catch some of them on as you bring the times back up. So now if we went to, let's say, a 30-minute chart and we look back, we can see these levels already set for us. Bring it up to a 15-minute chart. I think I missed it. Let me go back to the 15 and look back at it. You may want to set a level here. not really a confirmed level. I like to see this level being touched more than once. Twice is sufficient for me. But let's just say, for instance, as an example, it was hit twice. You would set a level there. And you go to your 5-minute chart. And you come back over to your 5-minute chart and you take a look at it. And you can see there's a level right here that needs to be set. There's one right here. And then when you play it on the 1-minute chart, let me zoom back in now. You're going to have some levels set for you, and you can probably set your 1-minute levels as well. And that's pretty much the history of that stock from a year back. Robert, I'm throwing them at the peaks, but it needs to be hit more than once. Like this one's hitting twice. That's sufficient for me. This one down here has been hit multiple times. This might even be a level here. Down here at the bottom. I don't see anything else hitting it, so I'm not going to set it there. And if I move it up to the next drawback, that's a level right here. And you can see the price is bouncing around between support and resistance. And you pretty much have a roadmap what this stock's going to do. It's either going to hit support and bounce up or hit resistance and come back down. Roma's moving, spiking up. You see, I already have a previous level here. This is resistance. So we may get a pullback down in here somewhere. Let me go. I'm on my 1-minute chart. That's good. So we did not get a pullback yet, but we went back up to retest 506. So if we break through 506, I like to see it come back down and retest it. If it can't break back down through it, it may bounce back up again. Right now, it's resisting it. So now, if my only opportunity is to play between support and resistance, I'm going to wait on a red candle to pull back from the sellers. And once that red candle closes, I may set a support level here and wait for the bounce back up to resistance. I like to see this red candle pull back at least 50% of this candle. It's not always going to make it there. Depends on how strong the buyers are, and they're pretty strong right now on this stock. Retesting 506 again. You see the tall wicks on the top? These are sellers up at this level. This is sellers driving the price back down as they're trying to break through 506. So we have to have a lot more buyers to overcome the sellers to break through. That's why we watch these volume bars and lines down here to see if we can break through. That's why we watch this label to see how much volume's coming in and out. So right now, this would be chasing a green candle. This is what we don't do. We wait for this pullback to occur, and it did right there. Let's see if we get the bounce back up. Since it's 8:20, I'm not expecting this to come up. I don't ever do this prior to the bell ringing. So just take this as an example, but don't try to do this 10 minutes before the bell rings. They could sell this stock off before the bell rings and you're trapped and you lose money. So zoom out, go to the daily, mark the highs and the lows, go to the 30-minute, mark the highs and the lows, go to the 15-minute, mark the high, create that roadmap that you can play during the day. Now I'm actually using the drawing indicator here. You can have quick access to it right down here. And what I've done is I clicked here, and this is the line I'm using. It's the underscore with the $sign above it. And then once you get it on your mouse, it turns into a pencil. And then you can right click and edit the properties of that line. And I selected the dotted line with a width of 1. And I set my default color here, and then I saved it as default. So it's going to stay on my mouse until I go back down here and click the regular mouse pointer. So all day long, I have this support and resistance line on my mouse. And I just double click to set these levels. Yeah, you can middle click the mouse wheel. So you can see we had these levels set. They're accurate. This stock is having trouble breaking through support. It may bounce back up here. It probably would if it wasn't 5 minutes to the bell. I'm going to go ahead and change our scans. I'm going to put the 50-minute up here. I'm going to put the high flyers down here. I'm going to leave unusual volume here. I was kind of playing around with it yesterday. I want to see how it responds. I haven't changed anything on it. If you're using it, it's the same setup that you have. Roma is the stock that was kind of acting weird yesterday. It was gapping up and gapping down every other candle. That's why I didn't play it. Someone said it was a previous IPO. That's probably the reasoning behind it. If it trades a little smoother today, I may play it a couple of times. You're very welcome. Since we have 4 minutes to go, just a quick shortcut on these time indicators. If you go here and you don't have the proper time that you want here, like the 30 minutes, the 15 minute, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute, if you click this time frame here, click enter intraday trader, put it on 1 day, select the time you don't have on your chart. Let's say, for instance, the 2 minute. And if you click this little star right here and then click OK, it will save it to your time frame. So the next time you go to it, you'll have that 2 minute in your list. You can also adjust it, but you have to adjust it somewhere else. If you want to slide it up and down, you can go here, favorite time frames, and you can click on one and move them up or down to put them in order. This is why I say never trust a stock before the bell. Let's take a look at the SPY before the market opens and see which way we're headed. It is going up, but that doesn't mean it's going to go up when the bell rings. We'll have to watch it. I have it on another chart. You may want to do that too if you have multiple monitors. I think since nothing was moving this morning, nothing strongly moving, I'm going to watch Mara at market open. I'll also be watching this volume spike indicator for anything that's spiking. If I see something good, I'll click off of Mara and I'll set support and resistance levels. And we'll try to get a pullback on it. I can't catch all the stocks. Keep that in mind. Market open is very volatile. So if you see something I don't see, click on it, mark the levels out, and play the pullback. But be careful, that first couple of minutes can really sting you. Just don't, because it's a big green candle, that doesn't mean jump in, because there could be a big red one right behind it. I like to let the market calm down for 5 minutes, sometimes 10, and play what's left over. Looks like Mara's setting up for a pullback or a sell-off. Not a pullback. It hasn't run up yet. Good luck to you. So let's see what Mara does here. I'm not going to buy this first green candle if it runs up. I'm going to let it settle down and make it a confirmed direction. Just watch these percentages. If you see something that you're interested in, you go right ahead and play it. You don't have to follow what I do. Nice green candle for Mara. Nice strong run up. But you're going to have to be quick to try to catch these things. That's why I don't chase green candles. If we get a pullback on it, I'll play it. That was not a pullback. I wanted to see come back down in between support and resistance down here. That's what I want to see, and it's headed that way. Let's see if we can get a bounce on it. Let me remove this level out of the way. Coming all the way down to 2161. This is why I don't say buy that big green candle, because this is what can happen to you. The SPY is not moving up. It's kind of just opened and sitting there. Mara's pulling back pretty hard, down to that 2132 level now. That doesn't mean it's not going to bounce up from this lower level. It's just people taking profits. Be aware it's Friday. Those that have been holding on are clearing the books. I'm watching the dominator lines as well, right in this area. You can see how strong the sell-off is. You have to be patient, wait on all this selling to stop. Don't even buy the first green candle after this sell-off. It could pull back down and retest that lower level. So if you would have thought that was to bounce up, you'd be in the hole right now. I'm liking the wicks on the bottom. That means the sellers are weakening. You can see the weakening of those sellers right here. It's trying to fold over. I'm still not trusting it at this point. If it's going to run up strong today, it's going to break this level right here. Once it breaks this level, it could run up. It could come back down and retest it and then run up. This area here is what it's trying to do, and it's having a battle doing it. At this point, it could turn right around and go retest the bottom again. Looks exactly what it's going to do. You got to let that morning rush get out of the way. And you're probably thinking, well, he's leaving a lot of money on the table between here and there. And I am, because I want a nice, solid trade. I'll give up 30, 40 cents to gain $1 later. And we're coming up to retest that 21.93 if we make it that far. So if you would have trusted that one, you'd be a couple of $100 in the hole already. So you can see down here, it's building up at the 21.32 level. So this is pretty much support down here. Will it break support? It very well could. We have lots of tall wicks on the top. Going down to retest the lower level again. You guys go ahead and play what you see. I'm going to be watching Mara here. I want to try to get a play off of it. Look at that drop, would you? This is why I'm willing to lose this money in this area. If it's not up here running up, I'm not going to get into this disaster. You got to release the anxiety, be patient, drink your coffee, and wait. It may never happen today. You may have wasted your time, but that's okay. You didn't lose any money. So we're now setting a new lower level. So how important was it that I did not try to play this area? It was very important. So now we have this level. You can see the lines, the red bars and the lines. The sellers are still ahead of the buyers. Good job, back road. Now looking like the buyers are catching up to the sellers. Still a lot of sellers on board, though. You see that tall wick on top of that candle? There's still sellers. They're driving it down. Like we're going to retest that 2091 again. We are retesting 2091. And we may not get anywhere with this stock today. We may stay down. The SPY, it popped up, but it's not making it any further. It's kind of hanging around 478.31. I'm also watching the other time frames. We're still red on the 15-minute, red on the 30-minute. We have a green candle on the 5-minute with a tall wick on the top, so it's a no-go. Now we have tall wicks on the 1-minute candles. I know y'all are watching MDAI. I'm watching Mara. You play what you see. I know we're going to get Mara at a good price eventually. It'll be a discounted price for sure. You remember just a week or so ago, we were up in the $30 range. I'm not saying it's going to go back there. I'm just looking for a buck or two. We need a trend reversal. This is not a trend reversal right here. This is a lower high. And a lower low. Thank you, Trump, for your donation. Greatly appreciate you, brother. God bless. Now we're getting the wicks on the bottom. We're showing some strength here. Still have the red dominator line above the green one. See if we break through 2132. And these are the previous levels you saw me set earlier when I went out to the daily chart and the 30-minute and the 15-minute chart. That's how true these levels are. It's still struggling at this point. This is what I call slow money if you took your shot at it. It's lucky money, really. I want it to break the 2193 level. That's what I want it to break. Then I want it to come down and retest 2193 for the run up. Right now we're struggling at 2161. So we don't have a trend reversal yet. This is just a bounce up off the lows. Now we're retesting 2132 area. Looks like the volatility is slowing down. Now we may settle out into some type of trend in either direction yet. Andrew, that's why you come here every morning and watch these plays over and over. Promise you, if you show up enough, you get it. It just automatically comes to you. Finally broke through the 2161, but will it hold it? Watching the Dominator, I'm seeing green bars and a possible crossover of the buyers and seller lines. I would almost think we're going to come down to retest 2161. Looks like the sellers are slacking off. I think if we can break through 2193 and hold it, we'll be good to go. But we have to wait to see if that happens. We break through the 2193. I'd like to see a retest of that 2193. Yeah, looks good on the 5-minute. Somewhat good on the 15. Small green candle on the 30. We still haven't seen a retest of 2161 yet. And we may not get it. It just all depends on buyer. There's the retest, 2161. broke through 2161. Now 2161 becomes resistance again, and 2132 becomes support. Friday makes it hard to get into any stock. You got to keep in mind in the back of your brain that there's profit takers today. We may not get a solid play today out of Mara. Keep the big picture always in play. What day is it? What happens on Fridays? Now we're back down to 2132. Yeah, we need to break 2193 for it to be a solid run, or else we're going to be bouncing around. Right here is why you can't put 100% trust in indicators. You see, we got the green above the red, but we're falling. And we were pretty high above it at one point, but we're falling in price. You got to play volume and price action. This is your secondary confirmation. That's why a lot of times you hear me say, I don't really like indicators. I could trade without them. And this is the reason why. When you say penny stock, are you talking pennies like a quarter or a dime? So we're at the top of a run. If you're asking my opinion, would I get in? No, I wouldn't. Main reason is I don't buy cheaper stocks like this. I got to buy too many shares. It could go up to $10. I could be wrong. I just don't play them. It's okay for a beginner that jumps in with a couple hundred shares, is happy with making $2 or $3 to learn. It's fine in that certain situation. Grace, that goes the same for me. My pockets are smaller than the next guy. Grace, I think everybody has their own opinion of it. I guess the guys that play large caps think $10 stocks or penny stocks. I've heard all kind of people's opinions. Below $5 is a penny stock. Below $1 is a penny stock. I guess it's all on what you want to classify it. Grace, I thought I was the only one that had that issue. I can't wait till Monday comes or the next trading day. It's kind of like, what do I do with my hands over the weekend? Hey, I'll go for a 3-day weekend. I don't mind. Too bad the weather's going to be bad. I may even take a motorcycle trip if the weather was good. Didn't get one this year with all the health issues, but there'll be another year. I've been riding for many years. Now I drive a high performance wheelchair on the gold wing triked out where I can't fall over. That's a picture of my ride. I ride in comfort, air ride suspension, heated seats, cruise control, no loud noises. Can't even hear the motor run. I have a nice navigator. She sits on the back. Yeah, I've been riding since I was a kid myself. Kind of like it's part of my life. Kenny, you have a blessed weekend, brother. Thank you very much. So did Mara do anything? I kind of got sidetracked here. I'm kind of guessing it didn't. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a disaster? Could you have played this move here? Yeah, but it's not really the move you want to play. So other than a couple of the few cheaper stocks, that's about all the moves we've had so far today. It's typical of Friday. Don't be disappointed. There'll be another day. We'll make up for not trading today. Robert, that's a wise move. I sit on my hands and listen to myself sometimes as well. Nothing like a refresher course for me. You got to remember, when I repeat all this stuff over and over for y'all, I'm also keeping my mind refreshed. I'm training myself as well. I like to take long rides. I'm not the guy that's gone for an hour. I like to be gone for weeks. So yeah, that time's coming where you're going to have to do without me for a week. Probably this spring. We left one weekend and 3,500 miles later we came back. You're welcome, Robert. My Flash, when you get my age, you've had enough of the loud music, the loud mufflers. Kind of just want to kick back and enjoy the ride. You're welcome, BB. Casey, you have a blessed weekend. I'm going to hang on till 9:30, but if you haven't joined my YouTube, please do so. Help me keep my ratings up. Watch my videos. Watch the commercials they put in front of you. They pay me a little bit more. They're not very long. And it helps support the channel. Make sure you like the videos, comment on the videos, hit the bell icon so that you are aware when I go live or when I put out a new indicator or video. Join our Discord. There's over 3,600 investors there and growing rapidly. Everyone needs to participate in what we do. At least I think they do. There's my Discord. Join it. Join all the other investors. Load up on these indicators and practice over the long weekend. I know on demand is not really that good, but once you can get it working, practice. The money won't be accurate in it. I'm going to let you know up front. And if you're in on demand, you're not spending real money, so you can make $1 million, but you can't do that in reality. So if you're going to play on demand, just base it on the money you have in your account and see if you would still trade that way. I bet you wouldn't. But practice makes you perfect. Attending these live streams will help you out a lot. And I appreciate and love every one of you. I hope you all have a blessed weekend as we hang on for the last 15 minutes here. Calvin, I'm an HD guy, but man, I just settled down, right? It's kind of like you throw away all the stuff you used to do and start over. Start enjoying the comfort. Get away from all the noise, the shaking. That's relaxation, cruise control, heated seats. We went to Colorado. I could actually hear the rivers flowing as I passed over them. Could see how high the mountains were because I didn't have a roof above my head. I get about 42, which I think is very good for an 1800cc bike. I mean, if it's not a Harley, it's a Honda. That's how I look at it. The Honda being the most dependable bike, I believe. Of course, they have the track record to prove it as well. I am headed to Montana as soon as I can get there. I want to go to Glacier National Park and do the ride to the sun. I want to stay at the resort there at Glacier National Park, but you know the reservations are a year out. Well, we're into a typical Friday. Just short gains probably all day long if you can manage to catch one. Don't think the play is going to be on Mara today, that's for sure. Of course, you never know. We could have that late day run. I can tell you all a good thing to look for too is when we're in pre-market and you're monitoring a stock you may want to play at market open, mark the high and the low of pre-market on that stock. And if you're playing it to the upside, let it break the pre-market high, come back down and retest it. And that's been a good play for me throughout the years as well. Or if the price drops and it hits the low of pre-market, it may bounce right back up to the high of pre-market and you can get a play there as well. So always mark out your high and low of pre-market and wait for the breakout either direction. Grace, I think they live there. I really do. I think they got rooms. Calvin, right click on one of the lines. You right click on one of the lines and edit properties. Right here where it says write extension on, if yours probably says off, select on. You can turn left on and right on right there. You are welcome. Calvin, do what I did years ago. I just clicked on everything. I tore ThinkorSwim apart. Everything's located on Discord. You'll see different channels on the left, and some of them say TOS scans or TOS scripts. And you'll find all the scans under TOS scans, of course. And you're welcome, M. So I can assure you on Mara today, if you're going to get any money out of this stock, you're going to be playing these small levels. It's going to have resistance at every one of them. So it'll be not worth my trouble to pick up a few here and there. I want to see the upward trend, not the downward trend. I don't want to play off a downward trend when I'm trying to buy. Need things to turn around. Play the direction of the trend. Don't go against it. You have a blessed weekend, Ron. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right, my time is up, guys. It's 9:30. Don't sit in the chair too long. Makes your butt wide. And as always, have a blessed weekend. God bless to each and every one of y'all. I will see you on Monday. And bye-bye.